Welcome back to another episode of Getting Creative With, the show where AADL staff engage with arbitrarily chosen topics to stay playful, creative, and inspired. My name is Ksenia, and with me today are AADL staff members Aurora, Christopher, Sam, Amanda, and Nora. And this week's theme was messes, and I make a lot of them daily, hourly, almost. So this was a challenge for me to pick one of them and to sort of channel it into and create something resembling art or something like a project. So what I did for mine was I noticed as I was painting and wiping my brush, my watercolor brush on some pages just to get the excess water and paint and stuff off. Oh, they look really, really pretty, that paper. And so I just started collecting it and tearing it up and crumpling it as it was still wet, and thought, wow, it's kind of like petal colored. So I made a little flower out of one of them, just to see if it would hold its shape. So I took it, I twisted it, and I clamped it with a little clothespin. I just kept this one loose to play with it and see if I could maybe put it on a little stalk or something like that. But I ended up making a bunch of these, folded them up into flower shapes, and the result of my very messy paint session is the big reveal.
Oh.
It is a mobile.
Wow.
It's a mobile flowers. So you can see the string is still sort of like, I've not trimmed it yet because I'm not entirely sure if I'm completely happy with the mobile arrangement. I'm going to probably play and see if I could maybe make a bouquet out of them. Just to see what I could do with them for the purpose of kind of decorating and things like that. But yeah, that was my delightfully easy, messy kind of project. The paper stayed sculpted so well. I was really surprised. Yeah, there it is.
Cool. So was it just the water from the painting that was on the paper?
Yeah, I ended up just wiping my brush on the paper. It was like a scrap paper that I use for just for cleaning the brushes off. And I tend to keep my colors separate anyway. So I just tore them up color by color, and they came out with these beautiful little gradients.
Wow.
Yeah, but yeah, that was literally it. It was super surprising. Yeah, I don't. Maybe
Were
a
you
bouquet.
thinking of a mobile before even you did the flower, or afterward you thought, oh, be a neat way to display it, so to speak?
Yeah, so the flower idea came first, and that's why I sort of haven't trimmed the strings or anything like that. It's because I figured, well, I'll just keep playing with it. The mobile seemed like a good idea because there are two empty hooks above an armchair where I'm sitting, and I figured maybe it'll go there. So I'll see what there is to see in regards to space and arrangement. But yeah, that's my mess. I'm loving it, and the colors made me really happy, and they were really well saturated, and it was honestly the most surprising thing to me was how well the paper stayed sculpted. But yeah. So there you go. And if you guys have any display ideas, send them my way, because I don't know what to do with regular flowers, let alone paper ones. So. All right, Aurora, you are outside today where your project apparently is. Tell us what you made.
Well, when I thought of mass, I thought, gosh, yes, I could have done a paint with painting, messy paint. And then I thought about, me, my past few projects have to do with the nature, so to speak. So I thought, what about kind of use the nature kind of mass to do a project on this somewhat of it. So actually I did. My most messy thing is peanut butters, and I use it with recycle of paper roll. And as you can see, I made it like a Bercy tree house. Bercy tree with the leaves. and with whatever the nature mask. And I just thought that make that kind of the only mess I could think of. I allowed myself to make, and then that the nature and then the animal will enjoy it when I put it out. So, and with the weather, it's been raining the last couple of days. I had started making this like 2-3 days ago indoors, and I didn't realize that the leaves dries and they curled up. So this morning I had to go replace some of the leaves because it doesn't look right when they really curled up and stuff, and with the pine cones and other stuff. And the birdseed with the peanut butter kind of stay together in the toilet, the paper rolls. So it's kind of nice. I mean, I'm looking forward to put it out for the birds when they flew south, so they have a place kind of rest and have a snack and fly on.
Wow.
Wow.
Really cool. Did you make the stand for them to go on that you can slide the tubes on?
Mm-hmm. I did. Like in the past, I have bamboos in my garden, so I made it like a tree stand so that when I slide the tube, they still have space that they could perch and pack, and also prevent the squirrel or the raccoon to get to it. It's really basically for the birds.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff.
Have you had any visitors yet?
No, I haven't really put it out because I'm worried if I put out too early, if it's all gonna have nothing to show. So I was waiting for yesterday, but then it was raining, and I was like, oh gosh. And even today kind of threatened that rain. So I was like, I was keeping it in my garage until I say, okay, maybe after the program, then it's okay. Then I'll put it out for sure.
Cool. And then are the toilet paper rolls just sort of slid onto the bamboo? Are they attached anyway, or they're just kind of
No, they just slide through it. That's why I put them in slightly. I try to find one that's not straight so that they kind of naturally form like a V shape so that they could kind of keep it that way.
Cool. And then the leaves provide some sort of shelter for the birds. I see it's like a little mini house. I love it.
And I thought it'd be nice because fall colors and kind of go more the nature kind of way.
Yeah. Oh, so pretty. Well, you'll have to let us know what kinds of visitors you get, because I just this morning saw a red-winged blackbird on my little feeder this morning, and I hardly ever see them here just because it's more, it's a bit more of an urban environment. But I've been getting way more enjoyment out of my bird feeders than I ever thought I would this year. So I'm really excited to hear what yours attracts.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't put anything out, but I have seen blue jays, some other finch, some kind of small bird. They've been chirping. I have seen woodpeckers. They flew around my neighborhood, but I just thought it'd be nice to kind of, to help them along, going wherever they're going. So,
cool. Thank you so much for that. Christopher, what on earth do you have today?
Well, when I thought about messes, first of all, I usually leave this until the night before or the morning of. And I'd been thinking about boiling some spaghetti noodles and sculpting something, but I thought that's not making enough of a mess. So then I went to just something very traditional. However, it's something I had never done before, which is just using paint and spreading it all over. I actually love in a museum to see these giant pieces of art that a lot of people hate because they're so abstract. But it was really fun, and I was really happy with how it came out. I can't move it because it's on newspaper and it's so full of paint, but I'll tip my camera down and you can, I think, are you able to see it?
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Wow.
it was fun. I'm no Jackson Pollock, obviously, but it was fun to put together and even think a little bit about what I was doing and why. And like I said, I'd never done this before, and that's one thing I love about this show is that it gives you an opportunity and an excuse to try something completely different. So
Very
it was
cool.
just a bunch of acrylic paint.
Okay.
Did you have them in bottles, or was it like a brush that you were moving around?
Yeah, I have about a dozen different colors. It's this brand,
Mhm.
Okay.
Craft Smart. I don't know where they came from, but and I didn't water it down at all. I could have. That would have maybe been fun too. And you know, I could have made textures if I had thicker paint and more of it, but I just decided to go with what I had, and I was happy with it.
Nice.
So
What is it? Did you paint, is it a block of wood or is it a large piece of paper? What is the surface?
it's a piece of newspaper, and I didn't realize that the paint would give off all this oil. Obvious. I mean, I guess I should have known that it would kind of, here, let's see if I can show you. Can you see this, the edges?
Oh,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of oil that comes off the acrylic paint, and the whole thing is soaking wet. So I can't move it at all.
I love it so much. This is wild.
It's like chaos made manifest. It's so great. I love that it's also like rectangular too. Like it has a geometric shape, but there's like utter chaos on the page. It's so fun.
Right, and I love the colors. So
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
it makes me happy to see those.
Yeah.
So,
How did you choose the colors, or was it just kind of like however the spirit moved you in the moment?
Nope, I just took a look at these. I think that these are colors from a block printing,
Uh-huh.
and I used them all 3 or 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just go through, and I kept putting more and more layers on it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
Messes are fun.
Agreed. That's beautiful. That whole composition makes me so happy. Just want
After dry, are you plan to remount it in something else so that you could frame it or something?
I might. I'm worried, though, that it's going to take days and days to dry because it's on the cement floor right now. And this is where the cat comes down here. So I'm worried the cat's going to walk through it. So I'm not sure how long it's going to last.
Cat might make a mess.
Yes.
Adding more design to your design.
Yeah.
That's gorgeous. Cool. Thank you for that. Oh my gosh, it just brought a smile to my face. Sam, hello.
Hello.
What kind of mess did you make?
Yeah, so I had some fun with acrylic paints also. I tried acrylic pouring, which was the technique I always wanted to do. And like Christopher said, this is a fun opportunity to try something new. So you mix the acrylic paint, each color in its own cup, with a paint medium to make it thin and help it flow. And then the technique I did was dirty pour, where you put all the colors in one cup together. And then you, so this is a canvas, you take the cup and like flip it upside down, move the cup, and it all just kind of marbles out and creates its own pattern. And since this was the first time I've ever tried it, I didn't know how much paint to mix, how much I needed. So I elevated this one, and as the paint dripped off, I put this canvas underneath it.
Whoa.
Yeah, and this one's so much cooler, and it's kind of like the accident one. It's just the extra paint that dripped down and marbled itself. And
Oh my gosh.
yeah, so yeah, it was really fun. I had so much fun doing it and picking the colors. I think I might try, there's actually a lot of blues that I used, so I think I would do more different, like more contrasting colors, because you can't really tell, they all blend together. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Wow, Cool.
Yeah.
What was the medium that you used for? Was it just like called pouring medium?
Floetrol. It's
okay.
yeah, like a paint medium for thinning it. Yeah.
Neat.
What did you call this whole thing?
It's called acrylic pouring. So there's a lot of techniques to get different designs. Like, I guess usually you pour each color individually, and then you kind of tilt the canvas to get it to swirl. But the dirty pour was the most messy, so I thought I'd try that one where they're all together. And but people also add different textures to it to get like cells and bubbles to come up, and yeah.
I never heard of that. That's really cool. And I love how different they both look, even though it's the same colors and the same pour, technically, I think.
Yeah.
The first one looks sort of celestial, and the second one, it looks like paper marbling.
Right, it really does, yeah. The first one, I wish I could get like some glitter in there. Like you said, like celestial, I think. Yeah.
They both look super different. What other colors would you want to use in like something like this, just to get a different contrast?
I don't know. Like orange, throw in something totally contrasting. I don't know. Yeah.
You basically can't control it like at all, right? And like apart from the
right.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I mean, maybe people that have done it a lot have more of like a sense of how to control it, but yeah, there's a lot of variation. It just does what it wants to do.
Did you use equal amounts of the different colors or different amounts?
I tried to, do equal amounts. Well, the black was interesting. I thought I did equal amounts, but it's like nowhere in this one, whereas this one is pretty prominent. So I wonder if the order that you pour them into the same cup matters. Yeah.
How thin is it when you pour it?
It's supposed to be like liquid honey. So that was kind of part of the experimentation, was mixing it, and then you have to make sure the bubbles are out after you mix it, or else it'll bubble up on your canvas. Yeah, so it's pretty thin, but not too thin that it just all slides off.
Is it all dry, like completely right now? Like how long did that take?
Yeah, surprisingly, it took just about a day, which there's a lot of paint on it, but yeah, it dried pretty fast.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. That's really neat. Like that's still like free form. I love it.
I know. I can't wait to do more.
Sweet. Thank you for that.
That's,
yeah. Wow. Yeah, I've seen like pouring mediums before. I haven't looked into it ever. So yeah, this is, as always, super inspiring.
Yeah, you should look on YouTube, acrylic pouring. It's really fun just to watch people just focus the camera on the canvas and the paint is moving, and yeah, it's mesmerizing.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen like videos on Instagram of people mixing paints as they pour it too, which is like supposed to be really cathartic, and I'm really into those videos because it's very satisfying to watch, but never actually tried that. Cool. Well, thank you. Amanda, hi. What did you make today?
Hi. So I am not a very messy person. I don't like messes. I don't like making messes. And when I do, I clean them up immediately. And I didn't do anything too creative, but when I thought of messes, I thought of a mess that I make every single day. And it's one of my favorite messes because it involves coffee. And I love waking up in the morning and I make a huge pot of coffee and I drink the whole thing. And you make a cup of coffee, you set it down, you pick it up, and you end up with little coffee rings on whatever notebook or coaster or whatever you set it on. And I thought, oh, that would be cool. So originally my idea was to get some sort of a piece of paper or whatever, and then give myself a week, and then for every cup of coffee that I make and drink, to put one ring on the paper. Well, I totally forgot about it till like 5 days ago, and I was like, well, that's not going to be enough rings on a piece of paper, and I wanted to do more than one. So I literally just picked 2 pieces of colored or cardstock, and what I decided to do is just do coffee rings, and these are different size mugs. And so what I did was, some of them are just naturally, and the other ones I made a pool of it, like in my little tray I put my spoon in, and then I just like put the cup in there, and then on here to make some stamps in different compositions. I did it on the brown, and I love the brown on the brown. I know this looks really plain and lame, but it made me really happy, and it smells really good. And I love the contrast of the lack of contrast with the brown on the tan paper, and the way there's little spills and smudges and splurts and splots. It's very coffee to me. And then I decided I had 2 pieces of paper at the same time to do my cut marks. And the second one I did on green with the cut marks. And then I decided to do some hand lettering with just a little thin micron pen, nothing too fancy. Just different words related to the word coffee and coffee culture. The word coffee is not on here, but it's just got like dirt, Americano, dark, roast, slurp, pour, beans, percolate, black. So it's pretty simple. And yeah, so that's what I decided to do for messes, because coffee's a great mess. And it's very Amanda. And I don't know, I just think that looks kind of cool. I kind of want to cut it and make it like a little note card or something, and then somebody can get something that smells like coffee in the mail. So yeah, coffee mess. But as you guys were talking, I started thinking, because yeah, when you were talking about your flowers, it made me think of filters, and it would have been neat to save some of the filters. And I was thinking, oh, I could have done something with the coffee grounds. Thought that might have been cool. So there might be an extension in this one for me.
I love how much of a printmaker you are, like through and through. Like you did even the stamps with the coffee. That's so fun.
Yeah.
How, like, does like the smell still lingers from the coffee?
Mm-hmm. There's some from this morning on there.
I love it. I love it.
The last one's this morning, but some of it is really, like, I like a sweet coffee, so I use sugar and I use a creamer and an almond milk, all dairy free. But some of them are a little bit thicker than others, and so they're a little bit sticky, which is kind of, I don't know. Anyways, yeah, weird with coffee.
So cool.
Does it leak through the paper, or is it like pretty much just on one side?
No, it didn't leak through. I mean, the paper is a little bit wrinkly, and when this morning's is completely dry, I want to flatten it more so that it's not so it's just, like, if you look on the back, or you can't tell, it's just kind of wrinkly. Mm-hmm. I just kind of let it drip. I just let it drip as wet as it could be. Mm-hmm. I guess this one did leak through, but yeah.
And then, do you know the weight of the paper that you used for it? Just like cardstock?
Yeah, it's just cardstock. I just have a stash of cardstock, and I think they're both about the same.
Yeah. Yeah. Neat.
It's so creative and personal, Amanda.
Yeah, it's just kind of simple, but it made me really happy. And I really, and I guess I should have or could have changed my mind, because the initial allure for me being drawn to this project was the idea of setting aside a week of time and then doing one print for every cup of coffee that you drank. Mm-hmm. I thought that was a much cooler concept. So now it's just like, oh, Amanda put some rings on a piece of paper. That's not creative at all. But that's why I decided to go and to do some hand lettering. And I'm not good at hand lettering at all. And I just decided to come up with some different ways of lettering. So, and that was fun to do. And I tried to like space it out a little bit and choose different words that meant coffee but didn't say coffee.
Right. What is your coffee bean of choice? I have to know now.
My coffee bean, I kind of like a medium dark, and I like Colombian. Mm-hmm. I don't think I have a really good bag. Whatever bag I have, I like to grind my own beans, and whatever bag I have right now, it's not very good. I think it was on sale. I think it was a fancy one that was on sale, and so I bought it, and I don't like the beans. They're too dry. I like a wetter bean. The previous coffees I had were David Lynch brand, which made me very excited to drink David Lynch brand coffee.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know he had coffee.
Yeah, there's a couple of different, and one of them was like a fundraiser. I forget the brand I ordered it from, or the brand who did the coffee, but I guess I paid money for the David Lynch brand. And one of them it was David Lynch, and the other bags of coffee were Twin Peaks.
Cool.
I like coffee a lot.
Oh, I love that whole like concentration of your personality on paper. It's so fun. Thank you. And Nora, hello. Welcome.
Thank you. So when I was thinking about messes, one mess that I actually feel like dealing with these days is my yard and around my house, and just trying to pull up some weeds and clear up some of the leaves and things like that. And so I brought them in. And so this is like an example of some of the leaves that I found outside, like a vine that was kind of crawling all over everything. And then I thought, well, thinking of messes, something I haven't done in a long time, but have always wanted to do as an adult is finger painting. So I used the leaves, and I took actually a bag that's just blank on one side, and I kind of did two different ideas with it. So one of it is printing, just finger painting the leaves and then pressing them on. And these ones I kind of outlined just with a thin pen. And then the other one was doing more where you by putting the grass down and painted basically around it, and so you can see where the imprint was from the grass. And so I'm not sure which I like better, kind of like the combination, but it was fun to do.
Wow.
And did you use paint for all
Yeah,
the
so this is paint, yeah, so you can see kind of, I use mostly like greens and yellows. Yeah, I might, if I did it again, I might use, you know, more colors, but kind of wanted to just see how much contrast I could get with those two.
One thing I like about using the green is it almost looks like you took the dye bled from the leaves in the grass into, it looks like the natural element was your paint using the green. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I thought about using some like also like oranges and browns and things for kind of more getting into fall, but actually I had my orange and my brown paints were really dry, so I ended up just sticking with these ones.
Well, your leaves look, oops, go ahead.
Oh, I just wonder, are they fabric paints or are they acrylics or
It's acrylic, yeah. I mean, I didn't have any fabric paint on hand. I didn't think it maybe would work perhaps better if I had used an actual fabric paint, but I just kind of wanted to try the concept of it and see how it would look.
Your leaves look so detailed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting how much it picked up. Like you can kind of see here, it actually picked up some of the veins and things, which is interesting. But
did you have to press them at all as you were printing?
yeah, I did. So what I found, it seemed to work better if I got them a little bit wet first, and then I put the paint on with my fingers, and then I actually would press with my fingers to really make sure they kind of stuck, and then pulled it off. So yeah, but it definitely was messy. It was just fun. Still have some paint in my fingernails.
So did finger painting live up to the hype?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think what's fun is actually you have a lot of control when you're using your fingers, because sometimes with a brush, I think the way the bristles move isn't exactly always what you intend to do, but when you really have it on the surface, you can very much control exactly what you're doing, which I found interesting because I always think of it as something, you know, very out of control that little kids are doing and just splattering everywhere. But besides the physical mess of it, it actually was pretty controlled.
That's really beautiful. Like I think of a little farmer's market bag when I think of that.
Yeah, kind of. Definitely a lot of things you could do with it, and I like the way that like it kind of fades off.
Yeah.
Going like kind of just cleaning off your fingers, it kind of fades out.
Oh, cool. So did you have a plan for like when you were printing and like painting with your fingers, or did you just kind of have at it for the most part?
I had a little bit of a plan. I would definitely, I wanted to try with the leaves and with the grass, but some of it just kind of was the way that the plants ended up turning and, you know, twisting and things. So I couldn't completely control it, which I think was part of the fun. And same with the colors. You know, I didn't know exactly how it would turn out. I knew, you know, I could add more yellow or add more green, but I wasn't sure how it would soak into the fabric exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a plan to add any more colors or patterns or textures with other?
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe this part down here I might do something with a little bit different. So maybe have like a contrasting color coming up, and then maybe finish out with more green and yellow down here. So kind of this whole side is the green and yellow, and then this one has another color coming up, but I haven't quite decided yet.
So pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that you can like you preserve the shape of the grass too in that print as well. Like, and the negative versus the positive printing to me is super, super interesting too. I think that's like one of my favorite contrasts as well. Like there's a stamp on one side and a negative on the other. It's just really interesting, and yeah, it's really balanced, like for, you know, a mess.
That's true.
Cool, you guys. Well, thank you as always, to all of you for being here and for playing and for making a mess and for channeling all that into something really beautiful and creative and something that smells good sometimes, you know. Next week's theme is bottles, and that's going to be super exciting. But thank you, as always, for keeping me really inspired during this really, really strange time. It's one of my favorite times of the week, just to see what you guys are up to and making with all the stuff that you have on hand. So thank you again to all of you, as always.
Thank you.
Alrighty, have a good one.